Hi everyone, my name is Dices, and I'm going to be doing marathon style commentary for the new game called Carrion. Carrion is a reverse horror game where you get to play as essentially the Thing. It's a pretty fun game, and it's recently gotten pretty broken open as a speed run. What used to be about like a 50-minute run, now it takes us roughly around 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how good some of the tricks go. So I'll kind of be going over everything and talking about that. Anyway, we'll begin the run with a new game click. Right before I begin, though, you're going to notice I'm doing something. This game is entirely played on mouse, so you'll hear a lot of clicking, maybe. But the reason why I'm going to be clicking so much is because you're kind of stuck in prison, but if you mash the mouse click, you can actually get out immediately. So as a game, most of the time you're just going to kind of be controlling this little ball of slime. I know he's adorable, but you kind of go through the tutorial just removing most of the stuff. You can kill people, but for the most part you want to be ignoring them, and I mean, we do kill them anyway, but we don't need to, like, do it in depth. We can just kind of vibe with it. As well, something like just chucking these doors out of the way. The doors don't let me progress, so... Anyway, for the first level of the game, it's kind of a neat fact that this is also the last level of the game. In order to beat this game, you need to come back here at the very end when you have enough power-ups. Also, I'm going to eat this person for health because I'd rather play safe. Because later in the game I might take some damage. But you need to be able to break that left wall in order to get to the end of the game. Until then, though, we're going to have to get the power-ups needed for that. This run's alright so far. I grabbed some health early because I wanted to be able to survive later. But you may have noticed that whenever I enter these like holes, I'm loading the checkpoint. The reason why is because it's going to allow me to skip either a lot of cutscene, which it features our character breaking out of something, or doors kind of modifying with our little poison or infection, whatever you want to call it. So by doing that, I'm able to kind of bypass that. As well, I go up there to remove the door animation that's down below. If I can remove animations, I try doing it as much as I possibly can, because overall it'll save more time over needless waiting. As we progress, we'll be entering these uninfected holes and infecting them, and that's kind of like the point to go to the next level. The first actual level of the game is called the Military Junkyard, and the whole goal of every level is to infect like 3 points. I'm going to be doing that trick again where I exit a room and re-enter it, and it immediately opens the door. The reason why I also want to help is because some of the people in this game have guns, and guns are effective on us if they get damage. I can just kind of click on them and they get stunned. They're actually really weak people, believe it or not. You being a cosmic being of eldritch horror can kind of just remove people's ability to fight back by clicking on them. But it's not always the most consistent. Sometimes you may miss entirely, kind of like that. The good thing I grabbed the health, by the way. Let's eat again. Eating brings back health. Sometimes it's not consistent on like how the grabs work, so just grabbing people is much nicer. And it does give me the health. If I kind of just like stun them once, we're usually pretty good. And the first level of the game is pretty chill, but every level of the game also features a weapon upgrade of some sort. So the first one is going to be Arachnophytus. What this does is it lets me spit cobwebs, which also, for one, allow you to open things from these little, like, squares, and two, it's a ranged attack that we'll be using for a lot of the run because it's quite efficient at hitting people. So you might see me just do that whenever I see a dude. It happens a lot on the next level, as you'll see. And it's going good, Stalker-kun. It's going good. This is also a good time to eat people while, like, those door waits are happening, because the next part is going to be a combination of fighting and just trying to make sure we're all good. You can kind of see how good the webs go right there. So being able just to shoot that guy and then drown him, it works quite nicely for what we're trying to do there. And also, this is the door I was talking about. When you have all 3 of those, you're able to fully escape. Which the last one is right there, coincidentally. So the game starts off pretty much as a seek and destroy kind of thing. Make sure no one's going to mess with you. But the game does evolve into a much more sort of deal afterward. And the levels do get longer. Luckily for us, though, since this is a speed run, we're going to be able to skip a good chunk of the levels that this game has, because they're not all that important. Only a few of the levels are actually really important, so it's just kind of a matter of making sure we're good. Also, my cue whenever I load the game is seeing the saving up top. If you see that, you can actually start moving during the loading screen, and it's much faster. So that was a pretty good military junkyard. In between the game's levels, though, what's supposed to happen is lore cutscenes. So the first one happens right here, and this is the only one we do in the game because we can skip all the other ones. But what happens is we play as Man, who's the greatest enemy of all time. And it kind of shows flashbacks of how you got your form and how you became the Thing. So pretty much spoiling it ahead. If you don't want to hear it. This man has something to do with the thing. You kind of find out through these cutscenes, but we don't see it fully, so luckily it's not entirely spoilerific. Also, that weird feet dash prevents a hard fall and allows me to keep running. It is a very minor amount of time save, and it lets this whole meme of dancing actually save a small amount of time. The section's kind of just, you wait, nothing too crazy happens, these guys need a place to C4, you're taking pictures, you're scientists. So we gotta just enjoy waiting for these guys. Imagine, by the way, if you would, you're a scientist and you just see your coworker busting sweet moves on a fossil site. I think it'd be pretty awesome. That being said, once this guy comes with a C4, we can hit that and we're good to go. In essentially Mystic 1, we're playing as the dude who discovered the monster and is later infected by the same monster. Like I mentioned though, whenever you see saving, you just hit load game and that lets you start moving very quick. I do not have world record, no. This game has been out for about 2 weeks and currently the world record holder is a guy named Cooney. However, that can change at any point because this is still an ever-changing game. In addition to that, world record is very dependent on a few tricks which are really difficult to do, and I'm expecting I'm going to flop with those tricks, but at the same time, that's also why this is a marathon commentary VOD, because I kind of want to get one done, but we'll see. And as you can see as well, when you get the new tech, you can enter new levels, so it's supposed to be like a tutorial. Hey, you figured out how to use that. Guess where else you can use it? The overworld. So that's how that works. The first victim, you'll see at the end of the game, Arungal. You'll see at the end of the game on how the scientist turns out. Also, you can now see the webbing is really good at taking out these dudes. I don't want to worry about them at all. I'd rather just ignore them, so hitting them with the webbing is very nice. There's also one of the only real levels we're going to be spamming webbing because this game also features a form change. And the stronger you get, the bigger you get. And size matters. I don't care what they tell you. Size does indeed matter in games like this. People will try saying it's the motion of the ocean that makes your thing strong, but nope, size matters. For this game, at least. I wanted to make that joke, because it's been very fun. I feel like it's fun innuendo as well. Anyway, we're going to be getting introduced to the next enemy. The enemy here is going to be guys with shields. What I'm going to do, however, is take this physical box. By doing that, I'm able to ram into them, and I don't have to worry about their lasers. So now we have additional mass and or girth, whatever you want to call it. We're big. This entire game is going to be about acquiring mass. If you've always seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you already know how to play this speedrun. By acquiring mass, we have the ability to do the new ramming ability. How's it going, Sebastian? Hope you're doing good. There we go. So now we're going to be making our way up. So the ramming allows us to break through, like, doors, wood, and a few other things. The main tool here that we'll be getting is the ability to break through wood, which is making us very quick. And wood is going to allow us to backtrack to the military junkyard, as you can see. Pretty much terminally. This is how Spider-Man got MJ pregnant. But you may remember this is the first level of the game, the actual level. We just did this one. But now that we have a new ability, what we're going to be able to do is enter the second part of this level. This part's pretty chill. It's going to also teach you about balance of your size, because sometimes you need to be big or small in order to progress through the game. So by being small, you can shoot the switch here. However, we still need to be big for what's to come later. Another thing is, for a trick coming up, I need to be full size, so I need to eat both of these people. It's quite sad, so I hope you didn't like these two, because they have given me additional mass. It pretty much is playing as Carnage when you think about it from the Spider-Man universe. As well, we'll be hitting a minor fight section in the next room, but we're going to play it safe by doing this. So I just remove the metal grate with my hands and then ram the wood. By doing that, I'm able to kind of fully ignore the rest of that, so to speak. There we go. So now we're going to be hitting, I argue, the hardest trick in this game. The hardest trick in this game is going to be doing early reef, which is going to allow me to go to the water level in this game a bit earlier than expected. Normally, what you would need is a power-up which lets you go invisible. Also, we take out this guy instantly by spawn camping him. He starts kind of summoning, and then you can just beat his ass. Loading the game, it saves a lot of time by removing animations. So what's going to happen is, now that I have acquired the mass I needed and we've killed that guy, I'm going to try activating the switch, which is going to summon this laser. I also need to try getting into the hole here. The problem with this glitch, though, is it's reliant entirely on your mass. So if you're not full health, you won't actually be able to do this. As well, the way it officially works is by ramming, I'm able to kind of get myself down there, and I'm trying to pull the laser after my body has moved to that area. That was close. And it's very much balancing your mass on this one, and you need to kind of like spread it thin. Which you can do with light tapping and holding onto that. I'm pretty much holding right click the entire time for that one. There's also a few times you can just kind of glitch through the wall, which is really cool. If you get that, you're lucky, and you should just accept that it's really nice. But it doesn't always happen. Also, how are you doing today, sweet? That's fine. Alright, we're getting a few times it's really close with the grab. The whole way this works, though, there isn't a really consistent setup just yet. You kind of just want to ram it in there. Alright. If you let go, you have to go back. I try to keep my mouse like hovered roughly around here, and that seems to have been working for me. But this is an incredibly inconsistent trick. But with how much time it saves, it is mandatory at this point. There you go. The main thing, though, is you just want to like be like a pancake at the top. You want to be very flat. Alright, that's almost good. Oh, that was a close one. Alright, almost there. You can hear a lot of sensual moans, too, so I hope you enjoy those sensual moans I do this one. I'm doing alright. Oh, wrong way. Hold on, a little bit more. I think I messed my mass. Like I mentioned, you want pancake strategy. Hold on. Get in there. I'm keep moving the entire body. Depending on where I place my cursor is where my body will be deciding how to ram. But this is a very difficult trick, I should mention, so consistency is probably the hardest part of it. The second trick in the game, I don't think is as hard, while it is definitely weirder to do. The main idea is that one has a consistent setup. And benefits greatly from that consistent setup. Alright, come on. Alright, almost. Still holding on to it. Aww. The general idea, if you want to make sure... Oh, close, close, close. I'm getting way too much distance on these rams. And just when I say that, I get more distance. Ooh, that's bad, I think. I don't think this is going to be a good one. You might hear sometimes I'm mashing my spacebar. What can happen as well is sometimes half your body can get in there. If any part of you can hit the trigger, you're good to go. Aw, that's close. There we go. I also didn't realize how much time save I really have on this trick. Alright, come on. Come on. Almost there. Oh, that was a close one. That was really close, as you can see. Almost. Aww, that was so close. You definitely want to be on keyboard and mouse. Keyboard and mouse is mandatory on this, essentially. Like, you can do it on, like, controller, but, like, with all the movement you need to do and how precise it is with, like, the mouse, like, I can't imagine doing this on controller. I really can't. Alright, come on. I need to move it more up here. Close one. You can kind of see like some of my tendrils got stuck in there. That's what you're aiming for. You want to get your little tendrils in there. Aw, come on, game. I was really bad at this trick, wasn't I? Wait, why is my timer paused? Oh, that's weird. My light switch crashed. That's okay. I was like, hey, I'm doing good still. This has been taking a while. It's still really good. And I was like, wait, the timer hasn't moved in a while, has it? Oh, so that one almost had it. Well, I'm not gonna know what the exact time is, but that's okay. Sometimes live slip crashes, I'm not sure why. Almost there. I was wondering for a moment, like, I have not been playing that well. Alright, almost in. Now, I don't know how bad this is doing, it's the only issue. As I always time the VOD, but I'm not sure. Alright, that was almost it. Come on. Almost done. That was close. Almost. Aww. This game also is a lot of awes. I always found this trick, you either get it immediately or you don't. At all. The only thing I can really say to help is to pray, I suppose. Usually whenever someone's sassy in chat and then I try sassing back, it tends to work. There's also literally been a few times I just got it by existing, and I'm not sure how that one worked. No, not that way. Come on. Tendrils, please. Thank you. Huh. Insert sassy comments? That one doesn't work. Oh, come on. I do think at some point this trick will have a consistent setup, because honestly, it has to. I can't see it not. There's many other setups I've been able to get like that one, but not consistent. And then he drops it. That's fine. Let you try one. Okay, try one. There it is. Cool, we got it. Alright, that's not sassy, Duchess. I forgot my life like crashed. I was like, wait a minute. Maybe now you do better. Well, you tried when you got it. Okay, there we go. Dead Rising isn't a horror game, isn't sassy. Anyway, now we're in the Leviathan Reef base. This is the next level of the game, and we have skipped the invisibility power-up. Normally you'd need that to get here, because you would need to go invisible. But not work. Also, don't worry, I'm not losing time. My timer froze. Clearly I'm being a god gamer. Anyway, the strategy for moving throughout most of the game now is going to be ramming, as you can see. And I'm actually going to be ramming through these guys in order to, and then I'm going to be taking damage. Because what I want is to hit tier 1, and then I want to go back to tier 0, or tier 1, or I want to go from tier 2 to tier 1, because that allows me to get the webbing without having to do the fluid strategy. Being tier 1 really doesn't matter for the rest of the level, because we don't need to ram all that much. Sometimes ramming is good, sometimes it's not. Luckily for us too, we have a lot. Oh, pull the switch. We have a lot of time of wait in between, so it works quite well. I also have no idea how much time that ended up taking as a glitch. The upside as well about not having to worry about maintenance at certain parts is like some of these save points heal you quite a lot, and that's pretty much all my health in one save point. So it's not that worrisome, and it does help quite a lot. Anyway, right here we'll be hitting another one of those machine fights. It'll be the drone, and with the drone being right here, I'm just going to ram, and it's dead. If you know the timing of the drone, it's a very easy fight. Which timing is just something you kind of get used to as you play the game. We're not going to be hitting the only real boss of this game, which is going to be coming up in a moment. But first we get hydrophilia, which makes us into these little worm thingies that can go through the small holes in the water. It really only exists to make this level. It's a fun little trick, but like, I'm not sure why they just didn't make it innate. Probably for add-ons, I suppose. But anyway, we'll be fighting a boss right now. In this section, we have the... It's kind of like that thing from Aliens, which is like the Carrion. But it has guns. The whole idea is you just kind of keep ramming it and going right and left. By doing so, you're able to get the kill. Luckily, I don't really need to size. We can just kind of go here. As they say, it's the motion of the ocean. Size doesn't mean everything, yeah. There we go. Alright, and load. For now, what we're going to be able to do is get our size back in a moment. Size does mean something here. We do need to be tier 2 going into the next level. Sorry I lied to you, everyone. You do need to be big. But luckily for us, it's not that big of a deal because, well, there's human beings here, so we just get to eat them. Normally, one person kind of gives you 1 health if you eat all of them. There's going to be people up top as well, so we need to eat all of them. And we'll be getting more up here. Okay, and now I can ram once again. So it works. As we want to Snow Wilson, set for life, we are. Google Plus? People use Google Plus? What do you mean, Wonders? Okay, so this is the final actual level of the game that isn't the, like, main first level that we went through. The way this level is going to work is it's combinations, again, of being bigs and small. Break the wood, head back down. Same mechanics. And with this level, the power we get is mind control, actually. It's quite fun. Also, Alton Briggs, thank you for the tier 1 sub, 3 months.
Awesome content. Any plans for more puppet combo games in the future?
I think so. I definitely don't want to do a lot more puppet combo games. They're really fun. They're anything like Babysitter Bloodbath. Yeah, definitely. So, with this level, you actually get winding paths. First things first, down here is how you get the paths all open. And then you can pick either the bottom, or you can pick top right or top left. Top right will be faster by quite a lot, in fact. Going top left is slower by 30 seconds, roughly. Alright, so when we head back, the reason why the right path is faster is because there's going to be a set of doors you have to, like, open later. And if you're on the left side, you have to open them immediately. If you're on the right side, they're already open for you. So all you have to do is walk through them. However, I should mention, we're going to be doing another minor glitch here in a moment. And this is needed because we've already gotten rid of the invisibility. Also, for safety, I usually go on this side because then I can kind of, like, ignore the guys with, like, the lasers. And hopefully not get bodied too hard. You do need to be at least tier 2 to kind of do this next area. You do get a bit of healing off this, but it's not enough. Checkpoint loading will always happen at all these points. Anyway, when I go down this hole, I'm going to ram. By doing that, I'm able to pass that laser checkpoint, and I'm able to immediately go down here. Normally, you need to be fully invisible in order to do this, but since I was able to ram it, I kind of just passed the checkpoint that's needed. And I save a lot of time that way. Because alternatively, if you can't do that, you can't beat this level. You need to be able to bypass that laser. Or else you won't be able to pull the switches to lower that bottom end, which has the finale. As well, now you go on the left side. The robots are also going to spawn, but we don't have to really worry about them. And now we can do my favorite part of this game. We get to murder a man on the toilet. So, say goodbye to him. I hope you like that guy. He's dead. Contemplating his life. Now he's dead. We'll be having another drone fight right now, except this time it's 2, so same strategy. I usually go to the left and then ram to the right. If you don't get it, you can just kind of either ram them or pick them up. Like, it's a lot of just having a seizure with your mouse, so to speak, if you can't get the ram. You just grab them and then you kind of beat them to death on the walls and everything. If you do that, you're pretty good to go. So, since I had to open this door, that one closes, and by doing so, tends to happen is you would have to kind of double back, essentially. You'd have to, like, reopen it. But this way, you get to open much less for doors. Going right here is ideal, because then you can just kind of avoid having to fight those guys, and you can just drop down, which is very nice. Now, you may have noticed I haven't really done this crack yet. This crack is going to give me full heal, and right now I desperately need that, because the next area is going to have a lot of enemies, and I do not want to worry about my health. Alright, let's go down. I mean, you can technically kill that guy too, which, it's good, he does give you 1 health, but I was missing 2 health. And if I wanted the full breath of that, I wanted to make sure I'd be good. So now these guys are going to be here, we can ignore them entirely. There's no need to fight them unless you want safety in exploration. But luckily for us, I already know where I want to go. So that's down here. The worst part about this room is that dude. If you kill him, you win. You don't need to worry about anyone else. You just need to pull the switch. So now we get the final power of the game, which is going to be Parasite. Parasite allows us to take control of bodies. Pretty much, Santa, what it ends up skipping is you're able to skip an animation where it kind of like shows a door getting infected. It takes a long time, so just reloading the checkpoint skips quite a lot for that, and it's quite nice. And now we're at the end of the level. We do need to take control of this dude. And then we're good to go. Now that we have all the things we need for power-ups, we're going to be able to immediately go to the end of the game. Also, dead. We're quite mean as the thing. I actually want to lose a bit of health. I'm pretty big. Can you shoot me? Thank you. You want to be between like 2 and 4 healths with this one. I'm at 3. 3 is actually really good. Game. So, we're going to be going back here. Normally, you have to go through here to progress through the game. However, this game offers backtracking. And the reason why is because normally when you backtrack, you're able to get upgrades from older levels. Like, oh, hey, there's this upgrade for you. You can get more power. You can get this new thing. You can get more health. You can get all these things if you get the upgrades. So the game wants you to backtrack, ideally. However, they don't want you backtracking to the very first level of the game. Because if you do that, you can actually beat it. Because right now I have the ability to break both the wood and glass. So we're able to go back here. You can already see we're by the military junkyard. And from what you remember, my timer broke. So I'm not too sure what we're at right now. I'm not sure how it broke, but it just broke in the middle of the run. If I had any action, I probably would not have broke my timer. But you may remember, this is where we're at in the beginning of the run. This is where we started off. In fact, here's that first drop-off. So, the glitch that was going to work is you kind of see I can ram. When I ram, I'm going to hit this tab button, which gives me a little parasite. By doing that, I'm going to be able to carry my forward momentum through this wind shaft. Like so. And what I want to do is I want to launch myself to the other side and try to get out of there. Because if I do this, I can go all the way to the end of the level. What's important to note is the entire time I'm here, I'm holding down E. And we got it, almost instantly, I think. Yeah, we got it. Cool, we're good. And we're out. If you hold on E, you kind of keep your momentum. If not, you don't get to. So now we're going back to the first research lab. Why is that important? Well, yeah. That was literally first try. This could have actually PB'd. Not gonna lie. I'm kind of bummed out. Like, you see how long that other trick took, and then this one was literally first try? It is cursed. It's very cursed. But anyway, now that I can break everything, including the glass, we're going to be able to go to the end of the game. Normally, you're able to make your way back here eventually when you get every power-up in the game, because then you have the ability to kind of go through things. Also, you didn't need to go down here. I just thought it'd be fun. Alright, now we have one more power-up to end it, and that is going to be right down there. The final power-up of the game. What is it? It is... question mark. Parasitism. It makes us into the worst enemy of all time. Man. We're the guy from all the dancing. That's who we are. No, not electrosis. Man. So, the game ends where you get to be the guy as a parasite. You can now hide your figure from other people and take over the world. Truly a good ending if you are a parasite. If you're not a parasite, it's a bad ending. But luckily for us, we could also dance. Exactly, Mystic One. We're clearly just a person. But overall, this has been a pretty decent run. If it didn't... I'm really wondering what this time would have been if it didn't crash. I'll have to go back to the VOD and, like, self-time it or something. Because I really am curious right now what it would have been. Exactly, Terminally. Anyway, the run is about to end. We do a little bit more dancing while this guy's freaking out. But the final area of the run is going to be what's coming up. Wait, can this guy come in the elevator with me? Let's see. Freedom for both of us! Terrified of my dancing. They escaped with us. Don't worry, we made a friend. But now they're gone. Time ends when you walk off the screen, and the camera starts to pan up. So, time! But my splits broke, so I don't know what I got. That probably would have been like a 25, I think, because I started on 37, and right now it's like a 12 on my side, so what's 37 That'd be, what, 3... That's like 27. This is actually pretty good, all things considered. I think Carrion's a really interesting game. Being able to just skip the entire thing like that is really good. You skip pretty much like 5 or 6 levels or so. It's quite fun. Also, yes, it takes place in Seattle, and now we are able to take over the world. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to either let me know, or if you're watching this on YouTube, post in the comments section, because it's quite nice. But I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you have any other suggestions for Marathon Commentary, I'm always open, or I may have already done it, depending on what you ask. Either way, thank you for watching.